vitamin water for so long. It's usually vitamin water. In the past, Propel.
Yeah,
Had some of that.
Old school. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil, the pickleball podcast that is not afraid to call out the drama. I'm your co-host, Gina Salento, and this is Neil Friedenberg.
We're not here to talk about the pros or sugarcoat anything. We're here to talk about the chaos, the drama, because that's where really the sport lives.
Hi there. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil. I'm Gina Salento, and here's my co-host and pal is Neil Friedenberg, and we're here to talk today about injuries and how it's blowing up with making all the orthopedic surgeons a lot of money, right?
They're busy, yeah.
They're busy.
It pretty much dominates a lot of the articles right now around pickleball, and it's giving a kind of that negative feeling or impact on pickleball, but it shouldn't.
And I know people that have tried pickleball for the first time, and like the first time they're playing, they blow something out, like an ACL, or they hurt their Achilles. Why is it happening so much, do you think? I mean,
I have an idea. It's kind of a guess, but I think because pickleball is so much fun and you're out there playing, you almost feel like you're young again. It's a fountain of youth. But guess what? Your body's not the same as it used to be, but your mind is feeling that way. So you're pushing the limits. And I think that's some of the reason why it's happening.
Yes. And I think that there's people that have never played a sport before. And because pickleball meets you where you are, you're trying this sport for the first time and you haven't used muscles. You've never used these muscles before, or these movements. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
It's a shocker when you first play this game. And let's say you haven't. Your hips are sore, your knees. There's a lot of shifting. There's a lot of movement that your body's not used to.
Yes. And I think sometimes a lot of people are playing on gym floors, and they're playing on floors that are like that rubbery texture, and their foot gets stuck and their knee goes one way and they go the other. I'm hearing horrible things of ACLs and Achilles being blown out.
Ankles.
Oh my gosh, ankles being broken. I know that's such a negative thing, but it needs to be addressed on how to help prevent these injuries and what you can do on a simple micro level that will help you stay in shape. Not shape, but just intact, really. Right. I think intact.
But you have to train those muscles because they're constantly being used in pickleball.
All right. So what would you recommend?
Where do we start?
I know. Let's start with shoes. Number one, I get people on the court, and I'm sure you have too with beginners, or people that have played like other sports, or they just walk a lot and they wear their running shoes. You're getting people with HOKAs coming on the court.
The number one shoe I see out there when I'm doing clinics is Brooks. I mean, not to pinpoint a brand, basically running shoes. A running shoe. Yeah.
And those HOKAs to me are like stilettos. And I saw a girl first time out, never played before, wore them. I always look down at the people's shoes. I'm like, hey, heads up, everybody. Next time you come, please invest in a court shoe.
Right.
And she moved wrong going up in the air and landing on her ankle and broke it in 5 places. So
you gotta have proper support. And let's take a look at a pickleball shoe.
Okay.
So right here I have a square shoe. And if you look, first thing you want to look at is the bottom. So if you look here closely, look at the traction. It's not big squares or anything that you see like on running shoes. You see the side-to-side traction, okay? Now, in pickleball and other court sports, you are going side-to-side and you have to stop pretty quickly. So that's one thing that you have to look for when you're looking for a proper shoe. Another thing is, look at the back. Look at the support. It's very strong. It's
wider.
Not going to go. It's wider. It's not going to go anywhere. And look where the traction of the bottom of the shoe goes. It goes up, around. So that's another good thing. Good cushion. And it's tight. It's tight around the ankle.
Yeah, lateral support is huge because the running shoe doesn't have that lateral support. And when you're moving along the kitchen line like you're supposed to, your ankle can just turn.
Right.
Easily.
Quite easily. Think about running shoes. What are they meant? They're meant for running, right? And usually when you run, normally, right, you're going forward. That's not the case for pickleball or a lot of court sports. Yeah, you're going to go forward. You're going to go backward. You're going to go side to side.
Yes.
You have to have all those movements covered. One other thing I want to point out is look at the front. Okay, it's squared, it's rounded, it's not pointed like running shoes. So that's really important too. And look at the extra area right here. So it's built up a little bit more. So there's extra durability.
Right, and a lot of times people in running shoes, or it just doesn't matter. You can get injured in a regular tennis shoe just as easily on a lot of cases, especially like people are lobbing a lot in pickleball now. Pros and cons. But when you are going back for an overhead, it is so important to make sure you're turning to go back versus people stay on the top, or like they go backwards normally with just one foot behind the other, and they hit their heel and then they're going to tumble. And I've seen so many people go down because they're not in position correctly.
You never want to, number one, you never want to backpedal. I can attest to that. When I was younger and I was in tennis lessons, I remember we were working on going back for a lob. I backpedaled immediately. I didn't know better at that time.
What to do, yeah.
And I fell, hit my head, and you don't forget it. Older now, and I still don't forget it. So make that mistake once, you change it.
So improper techniques, I guess you could say, for movement is contributing. Another thing is, like, I don't particularly stretch before I play. I still feel like I should be 10 years old and not just get out there and play. But if I were to stretch, which I, am trying to incorporate a little bit more, is instead of stagnant, like, stretching that's just static, you want to do more of like a dynamic stretch where you're actually mimicking the movements you're going to be using on the court. So, I stretch my arms, I move my arms a lot. I jump on the top of the balls of my feet to loosen up my Achilles. So Achilles seems to be an issue in this sport. So just by bouncing up and down on the balls of my foot helps my Achilles loosen up. What do you do?
I stand on my toes, and I go up and down like I'm stretching the calves for sure. I don't have a rubber band in my bag, but when I'm at the gym, I'll use rubber bands to work on that movement on the adductors, on the sides, the hips.
Sure. My IT band is really tight all the time, and that pulls on my knee. So I need to do more than I do, but you get lazy and you don't think about it. But
how many times do you go to a court, recreational court, and you go right out there and you start warming up, right?
Yeah.
You're hitting immediately. You're not stretching your muscles or body or anything.
Yep.
Don't forget to do that.
I know, it is important. Hydration. I know cramping up is a big issue in tournaments and stuff, so hydration is really important, and especially like when you play in such a warm climate and it's humid and you're distracted by how much fun you're having and you're not drinking enough. Water actually can dehydrate you if it's not properly infiltrated with electrolytes. So I just use sea salt and a little lemon juice for me. I like to keep it kind of simple.
Yeah, I've been using vitamin water for so long. It's usually vitamin water. In the past, Propel.
Yeah,
some of that.
Old school.
But if I don't, I need to change. But yeah, the vitamin water, typically the orange or the lemon flavor does it for me. I like that.
I would say also like making sure at the end of the day you are kind of doing something afterwards too. So if you suffer from a lot of inflammation and going out and it makes it worse to play. I know a lot of people go to ibuprofen or Aleve and stuff like that, but like there's so many natural supplements out there that can help bring down inflammation, like curcumin and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, turmeric. Turmeric is good.
Yeah, with black pepper in it, that helps. So anyways, just covering all this, proper stretching, that's more dynamic in its movement, hydration, learning how to hit certain shots properly. I get people coming with tennis elbow, and you can attest to why that would happen.
I see that all the time. The number one factor is the grip, or how tightly they're holding the grip. One thing that you can do to prevent that is build up your grip a little bit so it just feels kind of loose. It's in your hand. A lot of the time I'll see a really ultra thin grip.
Yeah.
I think table tennis or racquetball players usually typically like a thinner grip. They get that thin grip on their paddle. Yes, it feels good, maneuverability and everything, but it's also easy to squeeze too much. And when you're squeezing something too hard, right here is where you're going to feel it all the way up the arm, especially right here.
And I get people that don't finish their strokes. So if they're doing a drive, a serve, or a serve return, when you hit and you stop, all that momentum absorbs in the elbow area. So make sure that when you're hitting, you're bringing your paddle through, and you want to cover your mouth with your elbow because that's a natural break of the momentum so it doesn't absorb here. Sure. I think that helps too.
Don't forget, before the match or recreational, get the body moving, get the blood flow. Butt kicks. When you're running across, you're doing the butt kicks. That's good. I'll do lunges once in a while. High knees. Those are good. And then do some squats. You're not putting any weight over your shoulders or anything like that, but you're squatting up and down because, when you're at the kitchen line, you are squatting down to get some dinks.
Yeah, you should be low.
Right.
Okay. Well, I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you, did really well on that.
Thanks. You too.
All right. If you learned something or you just felt like you were nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, then please follow us or share this with someone that might need to hear it.
Thanks for spending time with us. See you next time on Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil.